Good morning, world. Welcome back to Let's Talk Barca. In this episode 17, the day after the humiliating loss to Rayo, and Koeman gets sacked. Now let's break it down. Now let's start with the game. Because, once again, I don't think there was really much with the lineup that you could really say that Koeman did wrong in the starting lineup. To me, honestly, the players failed. Like, Coutinho. Like, oh my goodness. Does anyone remember Coutinho actually doing anything of any substance in the last, I don't know, anything at all in this season? You remember making a play, like even the goal he scored wasn't a great goal. He barely controlled it. Like his control is horrible. He doesn't beat his man. He doesn't create space. He doesn't create a pass. He doesn't do anything on the pitch. He doesn't win the win. Have you seen Coutinho win the tackle back? Like, this is why Gavi plays more than Coutinho. Right? Because at least with Gavi, you can see him working to win the ball back, slowing down the counterattacks with fouls. You see Gavi doing something. Even if he's not producing anything magnificent offensively or doing anything with the ball, he's at least doing something defensively. He's working, he's moving. That's something that can be tracked. What did Coutinho do? I mean, let's be honest. In that game, our three best chances all came from players under the age of 20 and under, right? Our right back, who's playing winger, got that should have been a goal. That was our tap in. Once again, I'm not bad at Dest. He's putting himself in the right situations, but he's just not a striker. He hasn't played as a winger in how many years? And now we're asking him to be a winger. I feel sorry for Dest because that's a lot of pressure on a wing back. We've made our defender into our goal scorer. Where all our hopes, Koeman's whole career was based on Serginho Dest becoming a prolific finisher. That was horrible, right? So I don't wrong Dest for any of that. Then our next best chance came from Nico, another 19-year-old who, he made the good run, the run that we said that I've been looking for De Jong to make. And I'm saying, well, why isn't De Jong ever getting those looks? Well, how did Nico get that look? That means that to me, there's no one else making that good time run, because Nico made it. The one time I looked and saw Nico actually make the run, he got the pass, he took the shot. He was once he missed again. We got to work on our shooting. These guys, we can't hit the net for anything. So then again, okay, so that's another guy. And then near the end of the game, we saw Gavi get a chance once again, making that late run into the box. And he was in the box. That's the Xavi run that we need to see, and we need to see him score. But once again, you can't really rely on a 17-year-old kid in these types of games. If you go back and you listen to all my videos pertaining to these kids, it's like we're going to lose games because we're relying on so many kids, But I don't believe the kids are what cost us a game, because, who remembers Aguero doing anything? Did Aguero do anything? Did anyone remember Aguero holding up the ball, beating the defender? Did he turn the defender the way that Falcao turned Piqué? No. Do you remember any of our players turning we wasted so much money on Luke de Jong and Aguero. We should have just got Romelu Falcao, because if Falcao can just come on the pitch and turn Piqué so easily, but yet we get Aguero and he can't turn no nameless defender, what is that? That has nothing to do with Koeman. That's one-on-one matchup. These guys are pressing us one-on-one, and these players can't beat their defender one-on-one. But yet, we get beat one-on-one every single time. But when you get Kun Aguero to go one-on-one, he can't beat his man. You get Philip Coutinho one-on-one, he can't beat his man. That has nothing to do with Koeman. That's the individual player skill set, individual desire, individual want. The players don't want it bad enough. The players put on the jersey and they figure, oh, I'm putting on the Barcelona jersey, everything's just going to fall away. And that's disappointing. Now, the problem that I see is, what do you think is going to happen when Xavi gets in? Do you think that these players are just going to all of a sudden work Like, is that what you think, that these players are just going to turn it on? And then also now they're just gonna start beating players one on one. No, man, like it have to wait, and we have to get rid of these guys. We have to. There's a lot of players that just have to go. Coutinho is wasting so much time on this team. He's taking up minutes. He's taking up our vibe. Like, I mean, nothing positive comes out of Coutinho. Can anyone remember anything positive coming out of Coutinho? And it bothers me to say this about Coutinho, because if you listen, I really wanted to see Coutinho succeed. But the last 3 games, I've seen nothing from Coutinho. Like, nothing. In 3 games. Like, not even a flash. He's not even working. That doesn't make any sense to me. And, and now... everybody wanted Xavi, so now Xavi's here. And now I'm going to wait and watch and listen to all the Barcelona fan channels that Xavi comes in, and if it doesn't go right, they're going to start turning on the players. Watch how these guys that up until now, they didn't have anything wrong to say with any player. Now, all of a sudden, every player is going to be to blame when it comes to the Barca fan channels. Watch how they're going to start picking on every player, right? Every player that they don't like is going to get picked on. Every player is going to be at fault because they love Xavi so much that Xavi is no longer going to make any mistakes. So if Xavi goes out and picks the same team that Koeman does, there's not going to be a problem with it. It's going to be, every player's fault. And it's never going to be Xavi's fault now. And this is sort of the thing, that we're going to enter a stage where we're going to be chasing away players because everybody's going to be so Xavi's God. Xavi can't make a mistake, that even when Xavi makes a mistake, the only people that are going to take the blame are going to be the players. So now I'm sort of afraid for our young players with Xavi coming in, because I don't think that the fans and these fanboys are going to now be able to distinguish when Xavi makes this mistake and when these 17-year-old kids are just being 17-year-old kids, right? So now this is when people are going to turn on Fati. You're going to start probably seeing a lot more racism coming towards Fati now, because now when Fati doesn't play, he's hurting Xavi. So now that you see, no one really cared when Fati doesn't play against Koeman, because no one likes Koeman. So everyone was sort of happy when Fati and Dembele aren't playing, because there's less chance that Koeman's going to win. But now that if these guys are injured and they're not playing well under Xavi, now people are going to be like, well, Fati's garbage, oh, he's injured. Watch. You watch how long before so many of these fan channels start turning on our players. They're going to start turning on Pedri. They're going to start turning on Fati and Gavi and all these good young players, just because the only people they like is Xavi, and that's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see these fake fans and fake fan channels being parasites and eating away at the team internally, where you're going to start to see the fans start turning on the players like they did with Ilash Mariba, how all the fans started calling him and giving him all these racist taunts where they didn't think he was doing what they wanted him to do. This is what I foresee. This is a problem I foresee with bringing in Xavi so early, is that even though he's young, he's not ready, the fans don't care, so they're going to make excuses, unlimited excuses for him. They're going to make unlimited excuses for him until there won't be anyone left on the team, and then everything just collapses. So I really do hope that Xavi works out and he's able to come in, but I don't think he's ready for this job now, and I don't think he's the right person for it long term. I would rather go, like I always said, with Ten Hag at the end of the season. Now I'm hearing that Klopp might be available at the end of the season. I would much rather prefer those two guys right away. Let Xavi coach the B team. Once Xavi's coached the B team for a few years, then bring Xavi up. That's what I would like to see Xavi do. That's the route I would like to see him take, the Pep Guardiola route or the Luis Enrique route. Coach a team over in Italy, coach a team over France, Germany. Coach one of those teams first. A mid-level team, take your lumps, verify that your philosophy works in Europe, and then move over to Barca. But what's done is done. Like the team needed a change. I hope in January they can do the rest of the changes. Luke de Jong, Coutinho, Aguero. I would like to see these players moved on. PK. I'd like to see moved on. I'd really like to see these players moved on. To Stegen moved on. I think it's time for all those players to go. Pretty much Sergio Roberto. I'm pretty much looking at it as everybody who's been with this team for the last 7 years, that's 27 years or older, should be moved on. So if you've been here, 7 years, 5, 6, 7 years, and you're 27 years and older, Longley, Umtiti, only one I would really keep is probably Jordi Alba right now. Jordi Alba is probably the only player of that bunch that I would keep. Maybe Busquets, I would keep Busquets for the high press, but if you're going to do the high press, it has to be a high press. It can't be a sometimes high press, because we can see what happens when, Busquets, when we're not high pressing, he doesn't look as good. When we don't press high well, he doesn't look good. So we need a high pressing team with Busquets, and that's the only way he stays. All right, I want to thank everybody for subscribing. I like everyone for viewing. And this is for those who know, and if you don't know, you just don't know.